show you guys something else. But I'm going to start with the training because I feel the training is something that is really important to everybody. I know that it's on YouTube. I know that it is on LMS, but it won't be a bad idea to just show you guys how I was, able to achieve some things. So basically, today's class will be the introduction to Visio. I made some bullet points. Number one, Visio lets you transform text and tables that are hard to understand into visual diagrams that communicate information at a glance. So it's just really straightforward. It's easy. We're all familiar with Microsoft Office. We know that they're there for different functions, but Visio itself just lets you, transform text messages into diagrams. So there are many kinds of visual diagrams, including organizational charts, network diagrams, workflows, or home and office plans. In this class, we'll be focusing on the BPMN. So basically, BPMN is the business process model and notation. It is a graphical representation of mapping out business processes. They are also called business process mapping notation. Trust me, I learned this within like 2 hours. So it's so easy. Like it's not as hard as it looks. Once you understand your words, once you understand your words, once you know how to translate your words, then you can translate it into a diagram. So in the next basic BPMN rules that I created myself, process flows from left to right for easy understanding of flows. So some process can basically if you check this box by the side, your process flows from your left-hand side of your screen to the right-hand side. So it flows left to right. Then if you see the third diagram, it's beneath it. I didn't make it flow from under the diagram. I made it still flow from left to right. So that's the number one thing to note. Pointer tools are used to navigate. Connector tools are used to link tasks. So just take note of this, but this will be practical. I'm not going to explain too much just because of time. Connector flows can either be sequence. Elizabeth, I can see you. Can it either be sequence, message, or association? Number
Sorry,
5.
did you call my name?
Don't worry, carry on. When processes have different options, there is a gateway. I'm going to explain that. When processes have different options, there's always a gateway. Gateway can either be inclusive, exclusive, or parallel. So basically, your gateways are like, decision points. So it's either you say yes or you say no. It's either you attend or you don't attend. That's what a gateway means. So it gives you an option to have one or more options. Basically, that's what a gateway is. Gateway can be inclusive, exclusive, or parallel. There are I think about 8 types of gateway, but the major ones we use are inclusive. That means you have the option to select one or more options. Exclusive is just one option. Then parallel is those processes happen at the same time. I'm going to be explaining it. So all tasks must start with a verb. All tasks have start and end. Swim lanes in BPMN are rectangular boxes that represent participants of a business process. All tasks are completed within a swim lane. So all this English and that, now this is where we now begin the class. To start, we open Visio, we click on New, we select BPMN diagram, we click Create, expand shape window, and start process mapping. All right, so I'm going to start that now. Okay, so let me open. Can you see my screen? Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you see me? I'm trying to open my Visio now. Can you see the screen? I just want to.
We can.
Okay. So I'm going to open the Visio. I've sent the link of how I downloaded my Visio to everyone. Like everyone has the link. So the first option is, it says, the first trick, it says, let's see. No, that's not what we're doing. Okay, to start, open Visio. Can you see this? Can you see what I'm saying? Just to be sure. Busola, can you respond in case you're seeing my screen?
Yes, you can see.
Okay, so click new. So I'm going to click new. It says select BPMN diagram. So I'm selecting BPMN diagram now. Then it says click create. So I'm going to click create. So the next step is expand shape window. So I'm going to expand my shape window. This is my shape window. Can you see? Minimize the shape window, expand the shape window. Because I selected the BPMN sheet, it brought me straight to basic BPMN shape. But never mind, in case you select any random sheets, you can definitely come to the search bar here and search for BPMN basic shapes. It will still bring out those shapes. So basically, this area enables you to search for shapes. This is your work area in the middle. This is where you get to work. Your icons, if you're used to MS, you have your file icon, your ribbons that you can use to customize or, just, action things on whatever your tasks, basically. So the BPMN shape, there's task, there's gateway, there's intermediate event, end event, expand, that. I can't explain. I've learned that, explaining this, except you're jotting, is definitely going to be a waste of time, but I'm going to make it practical for everyone. Okay, so let me try to zoom in. So I'm going to go back to my rules now. So it says, I'm going to go back to my rules. It says, all tasks, where is it? All tasks are completed within a swim lane. So I know definitely before I start any task, I need to have a swim lane. Okay, so let's go to what we're going to use to map it out. So this process, TriTech as this process will highlight how sales and admin team plan and manage candidates tester booking session on their database. So I've been able to itemize 3 swim lanes: sales and admin team, candidate, and database. Those are the 3 swim lanes that tasks will be taking place. Remember that swim lanes in BPMN are rectangular boxes that represent participants of business processes. So our participants in this process is the sales and admin team, the candidates, and the database. Are we together, please?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to get out my swim lane. So this icon here says pool and swim lane, pool and lane. That's what I'm going to use. So in this process, I need number 1, pool. I need 2. So I'm going to merge it together. Can you see that there's a title here on top now that has popped up? Let me go back. Before then, there's no title. If it's a single swim lane, then there's no title. But now if I add 1 extra, there's a title. All I did was to select where I want, hold my keyboard down, drag and drop. So once you drag and drop it close to your swim lane, it merges. Okay, so I'm going to start by talking about the title. The title represents the name of the organization, usually the function, like why we're trying to create this. So the title, let me go back, is TriTech as this process. Are we together? So I'm going to paste this here. Let me reduce that. That's a big one. Let me reduce this to say 15. Okay, so we have TriTech as this process. So our first function is we're trying to look for our sales and admin team. Sales and, let me start from the end. Sales and admin team. So our next swim lane is, by the time you double click, if you double click, this is what happens. It just brings out this box so that you can, type horizontally. So our next is candidates. Okay, then the next one is what? Our database that those guys will be interacting with. So remember I said the swim lanes are rectangular boxes that represent participants of a business process. And all tasks are completed within a swim lane. Okay, so let's go back to our Visio. Please just confirm if you can see as I'm switching between
Yes.
windows.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, all right, cool. All right, so now for this, we can leave it blank like this. I can either come to my, where's the design and change the theme, just give it life a bit. Under your design file bar, this is where you play around with your system. There's home, your home lets you edit fonts, lets you do basic things with texts. That's what home lets you do, just lets you work on text, edit the text as you want, change the font, align it, and blah, blah, blah. Insert lets you insert like foreign things, basically. You can insert pictures, icons, charts. Developer, this one we'll talk about it if we have the chance. Then there's draw, there's design. I'm sure we all know about, it's just really straightforward. You can play around. So have I selected something? Okay, let me use this one. Can you guys see my screen? I'll just keep asking just to be sure that we're not sleeping.
Kenny, sorry to intrude. Can you do sorry, this is the last time I'll talk. Can you just do this process again of changing the color, the background color? Sorry, I won't talk again.
All right, so I come to my home. There's something called this. We all know where this is. So there's a tab called design. Sometimes in your what's it called? In your what's it called? Once you launch your Visios, like when I launched my Visio, I couldn't find this tab and I really needed it. So all I needed to do was you can Google it. Everything is on Google, trust me. All I needed to do was come to options. Everything is in option. If you need to format anything, everything is in your options. So where's the customize ribbon? So that's why I was able to find so if you come to customize ribbon, you can add things that are not there basically. But let me do come here. You do that, do your what's it called, class separate. So design was where I was able to change fonts basically. So it gives you different kinds of design basically, like different kinds of things that you can change your you can format your design to. I can also change the color here. So the design is the same, but I can just change the gradient a bit here on to my right side. So basically that's how I change the design. So it just lets me adjust colors, anything colors, processes. I think I like that color. I'm going to stick to that. Okay, so I'm going to start now. The first thing is, okay, press Alt to show ads. Okay. The first thing I'm going to do is start my process. It says admin advertises tester session via social media with different calls to action. That is text, DM, email, call. Admin advertises tester session. So let's start with that. So we are looking for our admin. So under here, we have sales and admin team, right? Advertises tester session. Now, let me come back here and show you one rule. All tasks must start with a verb. No, before that, I missed something. All tasks must have a start and an end. Okay? So all tasks must have a start and an end. To your left, you can see something called start event. Before you start any task, you need to start your event. So I'm going to drag that into my sales and admin team because they are the ones that start the process. So whoever starts the process, you drag your start button into it. Now, you can see some arrows around. Automatically, you just auto-populate. Once you click on that arrow, you can use this arrow to start either a task or a gateway or an intermediate event or a stop event. Okay, so either you can, if I select that, this is what's going to happen. Let me show you. So it gives me another task. Another way to begin another task is to come to the task can you see tags here and just drag it here? Okay, you can come to tags and drag it here. But how do we connect it? Now, that's where I will now show you guys how that works. But let me come here to my own. Remember, I mentioned something called pointer tool and connector tool. So I can either use this, but let's leave that. I can either use this to connect. Okay, and switch back to my pointer, because if I leave it on connector, I can't really do anything. But if I leave it on connector, this is what, it's going to be. But if I put it on pointer tool, then I can navigate, I can select, I can move, so if it's on connector tool, in order to be able to navigate properly, you need to switch it back to a pointer tool. Are we together? So I brought my tags from here to here. Another way to get a connector tool is to come here and select the kind of flow that you want. There's something called sequence flow. You can either take that, drag it here. Everything in Visio is drag and drop. So I've shown you 2 ways to connect tags, 3 ways actually to connect tags. Okay, so I'm going to start the process. It says admin advertises tester session. Okay, so I'm going to say advertises tester session. I do not need to say admin advertises tester session. All tags begins with a verb. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is, they said they advertise via social media, so with different calls to action, text, call, DM. Okay, but I missed something. Candidate sees advertisement and book and book via call to action. I skipped that step. Bear with me, sorry. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is, now the process is going to flow into the candidate. So I'm going to drop that process into candidate. Now see what happens here. Can you see that this thing connected here? But in order to understand your diagram properly, all processes flows from left to right for easy understanding of flows. So for me, this is wrong, okay? So I'm going to delete that connector. I'm going to move it a bit forward. Okay, and I'm going to connect now. This is where I use my connector. So usually when I'm trying to connect between, two, what's it called? I always use the connector. So if I want to try to drag it, can you see that it's going to stress me? Can somebody tell me what I need to do, please? I just want to drag this one to the side. Can somebody tell me what I need to do, please?
Do you have to go back to pointer tool?
God bless you. That's what I need to do. Just switch back to my pointer tool. So yeah, that looks better. So I'm going to say, so let's go back to the assignment. Sees advertisements, and I'm going to skip this one for a bit. Sees advertisements and book via call to action. So they see advertisements. Yeah. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to, so if they are interested, they are going to send text, right? They are the ones that will send text. They are the ones that will DM, email, or call. So I have a question. This is where I have a question, right? Remember that I have a question. In the current process of TriTech, can you send text and email or call at the same time? Or you can do them in order to register? Can you either do you have the opportunity to do more than one? Can someone answer that, please?
Yes.
Pardon?
Yes.
Yeah, so in case I'm not even sure of my booking, I can still go back and do it via DM. In case I'm not sure, I can still send email. I can still call, right? That's the current process. So, but these 4 things, 4 items are decision on an action, right? There are different decisions you can take on an action. That is where our gateway comes in. So I'm going to cease advertisement. I'm going to let me switch to this. Let me just type. So once you put your arrow, you can actually double click and just edit. I can say something like interested. Yeah. Wherever arrow, I can double click on this and type. Yeah. So we have 4 pathways, right? But in order to show those pathways, I need to create a gateway because it is decision making. So that's where our gateway comes in now. Okay. So our gateway, there are different kinds of gateway. Inclusive is when you can do more than these things at once. So that is what I'm going to use. So by the time I right click, yeah, scroll up, go to your gateway, I can see exclusive data, exclusive data with marker, exclusive events, that. What we just need is exclusive, inclusive actually. Yeah, because you have the option to do more than those. Do you understand at this point, please? I can take questions at this point. If you're lost, just let me know. I can take questions at this point. All right, cool. It seems we're on the same page. All right, so remember, it starts with the advertisement. The candidate sees advertisements, they're interested. They either do what? I'm going to bring a tax, but I want them to, I'm missing something now, but let's see. I'm going to remember now. I wanted to say something, but I just kept it. So because it's going to align, then like 4 different places. Okay, yeah, I just remembered. So this is it. Sales and admin team advertises Tesla session. So I'm going to right click and say, give the tax type a name. So there are different kinds of tax type. There's service, receive, send. Service mostly has to do with automated processes. Receive, send, very, straightforward. Now, when they advertise, it's a business rule. They're trying to, publicize the advertisement. So I'm going to click on business rule as this. So the candidate sees advertisements. So where do they see the advertisement? Usually on social media, right? So the tax type will be user because they see it online, right? So if they are interested, they can either send DM, right? Let me just duplicate this into 4 places. 1 second. So text, DM, email, call. Okay. Bear with me, please. I want to be as fast as possible so that, okay, so I've created 4 lanes. Okay. Okay. And we're also going to put that here. Let me see. You can actually expand it a bit. It doesn't need to be, you can expand between lines. I can expand, this is how you expand swim lanes in case your tax is not fitting in. You can expand by just dragging, just changing. Once your mouse changes, just navigate your mouse around the borderline. Once it changes to that, then you just expand. That's it. Then I just try to, let me see if I can align. So this is where alignment comes in. So all I need to do is highlight those 4, then come to this align and say auto align. So they're all going to be in 4 different places. So this is still under your home. Highlight all you need, all your boxes. Highlight, just hold down your mouse. Highlight, just drag your, cursor, what's it called, your cursor around where you want to align and click on align, then auto align. Okay. So after doing that, I need to connect everything to the processes. Just connect everything. I just need to connect. Let me delete that actually. Need to switch back to pointer tool, send DM, calls, tech, fill you form on URL. What else do they do again? Send text. Send email. Yeah. So there are a lot of processes to get booking into TriTech's tester session. All right. So I'm going to link everything now. I'll just connect, switch to connector tool, and just drag this to all the boxes. Link every single thing to all of the boxes. All right. So let me see. Okay. All right, cool. Switch back to pointer tool. Because this is like four, what's it called? Four points. I'm just going to make it a bit neat by ending the gateway here. Let me just end the gateway. If it was like two points, then I'd have just said, let me leave it, but 4 points, just close the gateway and, just to make it look neat. And I'm also going to connect again. Girl, behave. Just connect. Basically, I'm just dragging my connector across. Yeah, brilliant. Dragging my connector across and dragging just for everything to look. It's not rocket science. You're just playing with pictures. Are we together? Yeah. Do we understand to this point? All right, cool. So if they're interested, they send DM, they call TriTech, send email, or fill form. So what now happens? The next thing that happens is, let me switch to so candidate sees booking, we've done that. Admin collates information via different spreadsheets into a central spreadsheet. Okay, so admin collates information. So the next person that is working is the admin. So bear with me, I'm going to zoom out so that I can, so the next thing that happens is I need to actually create registers for okay. Okay, so I'm going to now remember my what's it called? My task, my arrows start at the left and move to the right. So what's now going to happen is admin would do what? Collate all of that information, right? Collate all information into a spreadsheet. Now, this is what's going to happen when they collate the information into a spreadsheet. The spreadsheet links into a database, right? It's linked into a manual database. So let me say manual, let me just call this manual spreadsheet, manual database. All right, so this is where the tricky part is. We actually have a data store icon. So that's not what I need. This is what I need. Data store icon. Bring that in here and have an association. It's not a task, it's just an association. Now, I'll tell you what an association is basically. Basically, this is what, how do I explain? Association basically is just, you know, a relationship, if you get what I mean, like between a user and some kind of system. So while this person is collating into a spreadsheet, those information are registering into a database. So that is why I'm going to right click on that. Once I right click, I can switch my flow to association. Okay, so I'm going to say registrant information, candidate information actually. And just call this the data store. Double click in the box, data store. So whatever task or the thing that you drag, it automatically you can actually edit to type your text. So it goes there. It's not really a sequence flow, but this is what they're doing. Now, can somebody give me the activity that work for this, the task type that work for this? When they collate information into a spreadsheet, what are they doing? Are they sending, receiving, or using a system? Please, somebody help.
Sending.
Now, in this case, they're not sending anything. They're just using a system. It's just a user type, basically. Here also, can somebody tell me what they're doing here? Registers for tester session.
Business rule.
Sending.
So when they're registering for tester session, they are actually user. I'll tell you why it is user. Fine, this is a collation of a lot of send, but we have a fill form. They're working on a system. They're sending email. They're calling TriTech. So these are like, beyond. I can actually, within this one, I can say fill form, tax type. I can say user, sends email. This is send, right? Calls TriTech. Tax type can be manual because it's not really like you're not working on the system, you're using the phone. Sends DM can also be, the tax type is send, right? So this is what's going to happen. Okay, so let's move to collate information into a spreadsheet. Now, when you collate all this information into a spreadsheet, because I'm using association flow, that's why I let this flow into that. I didn't scroll from the right because it's not a sequence. It's just happening simultaneously. Like I'm just working on the spreadsheet. So that's why I exempted that rule. If you get what I mean. So collect information into a spreadsheet. I need another task now. Let me find. Sends booking confirmation, sends reminder, sends Zoom link. Okay, sends booking confirmation. I can copy this. I can copy this and just so what's the error that I just made here now? Can someone tell me the error that I made here with this particular tax?
No verb.
God bless you. No verb. Sends booking confirmation. Sends reminder. Sends Zoom link. Right. And I'm going to bring all this here. I could have just created like some unnecessary as you're sending, they're receiving, sending, receiving, sending, receiving. But to be honest, I find it stressful. So I can say, so what tax activity type is this? What tax type is this, please? What activity? Sending. What about this one?
Sending.
Sending. This is also sending, right? All right, cool. So let's go to what we're going to create now. So I'm going to make this, I'm going to create a sequence flow for this. That's why I like my corrector. That's so stressful. Like, better. So I send my booking confirmation. I send reminders. I send Zoom link. So these things are meant to link, right? But let me do something here. Let me bring an intermediate event. Now, if I right click on this intermediate event, I can change the trigger results to timer because I'm trying to create an activity that is time bound. All these don't happen at the same time, right? They don't happen at the same time. So that's why I kind of put that in that so that it would show that they're not happening at the same time. Okay, so are we together? Or should I explain that part again, please? Okay, cool.
Please do again, please.
All right, so there are different kinds of events. There's end events, there's start events, there's intermediate events. In the intermediate events happen, they are actually like, they happen in between processes. They are also like, when we are creating sub-process, I might not create sub-process in this class, watch videos on that. When you are creating sub-process, you continue with an intermediate event. So in this process, this is an intermediate event. It's because I'll show you why, because I want to link this. Let me change. I'm going to use connector, just normal connector, then show you how. Let me bring another tax here. Let's say receive, and right, if they're going to send something, they'll receive. So I'm going to bring my connector to connect all this to that, right? I'm going to connect all this to this. Switch to.
While you're on that, Pat, Dotun, and Penny as their rank, right?
Okay, yeah. I'm with you guys. I can hear you. I can take questions.
Okay, Kenny, could you explain gateway and how are you copying? Are you just dragging and pasting on another space, or what are you doing exactly when you're copying like the you see where you copied, I think the place where you wrote send bookings,
Oh
send
yeah, so
reminder.
basically I didn't, I know a lot of commands in my head. So all I just needed to do was Control C and Control V. That's all. So
Okay, so that's okay, so you're pressing like your keypads already.
Yeah, I was.
Okay.
Yes.
Because I didn't see you, dragging something. I just saw it pasting. That's what I'm asking.
And
Okay,
paste.
good.
Same thing.
Cool.
So to create a new one, you can also drag tags from the left, from this your shapes, and put it wherever you want, and name the activity to whatever you want.
Cool. So what about gateways? Could you just explain that to me?
So basically, gateways are like, the BSA asked me to do this like this. But if it was left to me, this would have been gateways. But it's just that these things don't happen at the same time. But I'll explain gateway to you. Gateways are, another name in my head for gateways are decision points. You get. So if I get to the train station, am I taking the platform 1, platform 2, platform 3, or platform 4? That's my gateway. You get. Now, some gateways can let me take only platform 1. Now, that gateway type is called an exclusive data. Only platform 1. Some gateways, I can want to enter a bus going through Stratford, and on platform 1 and platform 2, I can get Stratford there. You get. That is an inclusive. So I have those 2 options to select. Now, another gateway is called parallel. There are different kinds of gateway, yeah? This gateway, now, I'm going to give a very good example. I send an application for something, right, on a system. That application automatically sends me booking confirmation. And it sends the person selling the product to me that somebody has bought their products. This is what this is called, parallel. 2 events happening at the same time. They are not related, but they happen at the same time when a task happens or when an action happens. So inclusive is inclusive is I have the option of selecting more than one. Yeah. So I hope you got that a bit.
I did. So the small boxes beside the gateway, what's that? Because it doesn't look like task.
Which one?
The small where you wrote send email, call, try tech.
Oh, I just let me show you. They're all tasks. All I just did was to reduce the size so that it will fit into that space. That's all I did. You can manipulate your size. I didn't want like so large space basically.
To take so much space. Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah. So now there's an error here as well. There's an error here. And I'll show you what the error is. This is where the error is. When you right click, let me right click here. This is called a message flow. You change your arrow to when you're sending, when you're receiving, the sequence should be on message flow, right? So let me change this. Task type on this one would be what?
Receive.
Exactly, receive. It's straightforward. Okay, so the candidate receives all this. They don't receive them at the same time. But I could have created some kind of flow, but I don't just want to mess it up. Usually I'd have put a gateway, but BSC said don't put a gateway. It doesn't happen at the same time. However, this is what's going to happen. I could actually pull a sequence here just so that I don't, I make that less because they don't happen at the same time anyway. So I just, so once they receive, what happens? Let's move forward. Candidates receive all emails, right? Candidates either attend or what? Do not attend. We're almost done with the class, literally. So another task happens now. Wait, no. So candidates what? Either attend or do not attend. So what do you think? Can somebody give me what we need to do here? Just to see that we are following the access.
Another gateway.
Thank you. We have another gateway coming right here. Because candidate either attends or what? They don't attend. Okay? So I'm going to put the gateway here. So they said candidates either attend or do not attend, right? So are they inclusive or exclusive or parallel? Just so I know someone understands.
I guess inclusive because it gives like two options, either attend or not.
Can someone else try? Can someone else try?
Right.
Pardon? All right, so this is an exclusive event. Basically, it's an exclusive event. Okay, so it's either they attend or they don't attend. If it's inclusive, they have the option of attending and not attending. Yeah, exclusive, they're not exclusive. Either they do any of them. Yeah. So, but this was inclusive because they could do both at the same time.
Okay, but there are two exclusives on that task. So how did you choose? How did you know which one to choose?
Okay, so gateway type. There's exclusive data with marker, exclusive events, exclusive da. I will tell you that this is what most people use when they come to decision points. That's all I can say. I don't really know it.
But there's also exclusive data there, so it doesn't matter.
I don't know, but you can research
fair enough. Fair enough.
This is instant da. But this is what people use, exclusive with a marker. I don't know why. To be honest, I don't know. I'm not a Visio pro, just to put that back. But it's just based on what I learned. That okay, so okay. So once they receive, they have to once they either attend or do not attend. So if when candidate attends, process ends. But if they are still interested in tester session, they wait for next schedule. All right. So it says, let me put this here. So when candidate attends, process ends, right? Process ends. But when they do not attend, let me just put this actually. They wait for next tester right? So they wait for next tester schedule. But now, when they wait for next tester schedule and the tester process starts all over again, what do you think will happen? Can somebody just help me with that? I wait for next tester. What's it called? Let me zoom in again. Sorry. So I attend, the process ends. I drag the end event to the right. Do not attend.
We'll go back to the beginning.
You go back to the beginning, right? All right. So that's what's going to happen. We're going to go back to where it all started from. So this is where this process would not end. This process is going to continue. So all I need to do is to drag this from the left, bring it down, and take it back to the beginning of where it all started. Oh, sorry, I can't drag that. Let me just drag that down to where they now see the advertisement. And
sorry, Kenny, 3 people have their hands up.
And yeah, okay, I'm done already. So once they wait for next tester set schedule and they are still interested, I drag it all the way here. All right, so that brings me to the end of the Aziz process. So what's the question, please?
Okay. My question. Now, considering what you've drawn so far, if I'm giving this drawing now to interpret.
Yes.
The first gateway, I have an issue with it, how you connect it to those tasks.
Which first gateway?
The first gateway.
This first gateway?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to repeat that again.
No, it's just a contribution. I want to know whether it's allowed. Because if you are doing an engineering drawing and you want to draw a parallel connections to tasks like this, what I expected is from that gateway, that's after the gateway, the first, there should supposed to be first arrow. Can you move your cursor there? Let me show you something.
Okay.
Now, this, put your cursor on the first gateway. Let me see. Yeah, that's the first gateway.
Yeah.
Now, for you to connect to those 4 tasks in front of it, if you are doing a kind of a parallel connection in engineering drawing, you are supposed to have you first have an horizontal connector first. Then you now have a vertical that connect all of them together. Instead of bringing it from the corners.
Horizontal connection first.
First, remove those ones, yes.
Let me remove them so that I understand what you mean. And I'll show you why that might not work.
Just remove them also. So,
okay.
Now, put an horizontal connection there.
From here, right?
Yes. Then you now have your vertical that connect all of them, like four fingers like this.
So I now connect from here, right?
The same point.
From the what point? This same point.
Just take the middle of it.
So use pointer too, I guess.
Can you see that it's not moving? Can you see that it's not switching? Let me try. I know that I was struggling with that. Hence why. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. We're all learning here.
Then join the third one to it.
Yeah, just waiting for it to switch.
Join the third one to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. It's not switching. I'm looking for the switch points.
Okay, the third one is not switching.
Okay, let me see.
No, from the vertical line.
Yeah.
Can you zoom it so that it can be clear and at that point so that we can see it? So if you make that line straight, all those arrows, can they be straight?
No, they can't because of the space. This one, yeah. Is it this one or the one on the other side?
That one.
Not because there's something like there's a midpoint here. It won't be straight, basically.
Actually, this is how it's supposed to be anyway. If it is a engineering drawing, I don't know.
Okay, thank you for that. What about the other side?
Then the same thing you do here, you do on the other side, meaning that the four of them comes together and
To make
into one channel.
Makes sense.
You understand?
Yeah, makes sense.
Four of them come together, then go through one channel.
One channel.
Then this one, all of them come from one channel, then distribute to four. I mean, from one channel, distribute to four. Then from this one, four enter into one channel.
Makes sense like that?
Yeah, like this.
Cool.
That's the way I understand it too. That if you give me like this, I will understand that the four of them, they are in parallel.
Yeah, it makes sense. That makes sense.
So is it allowed?
For that? Oh yeah, no. As I've said, I'm not Visio master, and some people will know processes more than it makes sense pictorially, or what's it called? In picture, it makes a lot more sense. All right. Next question, please. Thank you for that, Mr. D.
All right, thank you.
Makes sense, actually. My diagram looks nice enough. All right, cool. Next. Any other question?
So the amount, God.
Kenny?
Yeah.
You know, the first rule says everything has to go from left to right.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
If they do not attend, can't you put something to say start from the first process instead of taking it from right to left now?
You have to link it back. You always have to link it back. You always have to link it back. It's either
so
you
the rule
stop it.
doesn't apply there.
It's either you stop it. Let me show you. From left to right. Where's the right? Where's my right of the where's the right of the other one? From left to right. Is this the left or the right? I probably didn't link it correctly. Right? Where's the right? That should be the right, right?
It's correct. If the left right you're talking about.
Pardon? Yeah, that's more like it. That's exactly what I want. So yeah, from the left,
that's front to back, right? Front to back.
So let me iterate that. Sorry. 1 second. This is the left, right? Wait, basically. What side is this? Please correct me.
The left to right is front to back. You go from the front your front to somebody's back.
To back. So yes. That's exactly what I'm doing. So the way I did this before was correct. So front to back. Can you see front to back? Front to back. So basically that's the word here. Thank you for that. So all our flows front to back, front to back, front to back, except the exclusion that, except this one, but front to back, front to back, front. All right, cool. Any other question, please? So yeah, answering that question, was it Patience that asked? So if you wait for next tester's schedule and you're still interested in tester, you still have to go through these processes. So you need to come back here. You have to link it back. So that's why they link back. All right. So I think this concludes the Visio class. Any other question? Brilliant. I'm so happy that I've been able to impact at this point. So I think, yeah, this concludes this first part. But I'm going to, just for, you could if you're on your phone, you can screenshot this assignment, or you can snip your screen if you're using a laptop. Please do this assignment, on your own, just to be sure that you understand what we just did. Please just, take a screenshot of this. So basically, map a website process. This process will highlight how a staff will log on to TriTech's website. Right? How many swim lanes would we have here? Can somebody help?
2.
2, thank you. So if a staff is new, registers on websites, then log in. If a staff is old, tries to log in, password can either be valid or invalid. If a password is valid, staff can access TriTech's website. If a password is wrong, candidates can retry and log back in. If a password is wrong, candidate can click forgot password, reset password, and log back in. Just try that. This is the highest assignment of it. So, Mrs. Shea, I see that your hands are raised. Your hand is raised. Please carry on.
Sorry, that was from Helia.
Oh, okay.
I'll bring it down.
All right. So this ends the class, and I'm done. So, Elizabeth, over to you.
Thank you very much, Kenny. Honestly, I am blown away. I didn't get everything. I'm not gonna lie. I need to go back and learn it. But thank you so very much for your time. Thank you so much. I wanted to find out, guys. Oh no. Before that, hold on. Let me pause the recording.